Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, higher praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makar, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and single honors to the apostles, preaching and teaching us His word, truth and with sincerity, as always. Like minded camps, like minded individuals, preaching and teaching as always as well. And our praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Alright, in this lesson, we're going to get into this economy crash, and I saw some clips that I wanted to inspire me to speak on this topic. Uplift your faith, uplift brothers' faith, give people updates on how this economy is looking right now. So in the first clip I'll play here is let's check it out here. I'll play this clip here I have.
How many Dollar General stores are there in the county where you live at?
This is the view from Appalachia. That's his channel. On the screen right there if you want to check him out. And the title is, I saw real desperation at Dollar General today. Now this came out like a week and some change ago. Here, check it out.
Right now. Count 4 here where I am. There may be 5. I could be missing one, but I think there's 4 here in the county where I live at that I pass by just about every time I leave here to go up to town. At least 4 Dollar General stores. It's pretty much that way in every county, you know, surrounding me also, and probably everywhere in the South and everywhere else it seems. You know, they say there's probably a Dollar General store on the moon. Every 10 miles or so, Dollar General, Dollar General, Dollar General. But anyway, I stop there every so often to pick up, you know, a few little things because Walmart is usually more crowded and usually takes more time to go in and get whatever you need to get. And that's really the only stores there are around here, besides a few hardware stores and things, is the Dollar General stores and Walmart. So I stopped at the Dollar General store today. I've been to my mom's and I was coming back and I started to stop at the Dollar General store to get, you know, a couple of things. So I pulled in the parking lot and there was 4 cars in the parking lot. And I sat there for about 10 minutes, probably looking at my phone, because I was checking my emails, checking the comments on my YouTube channel, YouTube videos, and just doing a few things on my phone before I went in. Not really in any big hurry or anything. I got done doing that, so I went on into the Dollar General store, and I went around the aisles and came back around, around the corner of another aisle, and there was a woman there. She was probably about 35 years old, and she had 2 kids with her, and she was at the freezer part where the frozen foods are at, you know, where they have things like the frozen pizzas, the sandwich meats and cheese and things. She was right there. So I come around on the other side of the store, actually I can see her over here, and I noticed that she was shoplifting. She was stealing sandwich meat and cheese and putting that in her bag. And I saw that, and she didn't look like any kind of a drug addict, didn't look like a drunk, didn't really look homeless or anything like that, but she was shoplifting food. And so I didn't say anything because, you know, it's not any of my business to say anything about something like that. And I didn't know why she needed that food for. Hungry, no doubt. Didn't have the money to buy food, no doubt. And that's why she was shoplifting food. So, you know, I go on around and I get thinking about it. So I get my wallet out and I get $40 out of my billfold, and I go back around where she is at, and I didn't tell her that I saw her doing that, but I told her that I got this feeling for some reason that she needed this $40. And so I handed her the $40, and she didn't want to take it, but I insisted she take it because she had the kids, and I saw she was taking food out of the store, and hopefully she put that back. I didn't mention it. Like I said, I didn't watch her anymore. I gave her that $40, and she thanked me after putting the persistence to it, And I went on around and got my stuff and checked out. But it was sad that someone was having to steal, shoplift food, bologna and cheese and just sandwich meats. Usually people would shoplift something that they could resell, something that had a lot more value than just food. Someone getting food and had 2 kids there was definitely getting it because they couldn't afford.
I said, there you have it, man. He shared his testimony, this guy here. I mean, and the brothers said from Chicago this past Saturday, they were camp. So they started off with prophesying about that, how that's going to continue to increase. And through the Spirit, I also have every now and once again, while I mention that, try to mention it each week, at least once, and yeah, that's going to happen more. You can expect more of these kinds of situations to happen. Crazy ass situations to happen, man. I actually also remember that a vision the Lord gave me of these black women from the hood inside Walgreens looting and causing a havoc up in there. So this is gonna happen, man. The Lord definitely ain't playing games, and yeah, man. Lord ain't playing games. He's about to crash out, make this shit crash out. This is 2 Kings 6:25-31. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80. It's 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. 1 Samuel 2 and the G&T were started in 5. The people who once were well fed now hire themselves out to get food, but the hungry are hungry no more. The childless wife has borne 7 children, but the mother of many is left with none. The Lord kills and restores to life. He sends people back to the road of the dead and brings them back again. He makes some people poor and others rich. He humbles some and makes others great. He lifts the poor from the dust and raises the needy from their misery. He makes them companions of princes and puts them in places of honor. The foundations of the earth belong to the Lord. On them he has built the world. 9. He protects the lives of his faithful people, but the wicked disappear in darkness. A man does not triumph by his own strength, for the Lord's enemies will be destroyed. He will thunder against them from heaven. The Lord will judge the world. The Lord will judge the whole world. He will give power to his king, Yahweh. He will make his chosen king victorious, Yahweh. It's going into how the Lord's power and how he judges nations and sets others up. He lifts some up and then lowers others down, humbles them down. And in the case, and as we get closer and closer to the end, the Lord's revealing who his elect is and raising them up soon to the point where a whole world knows who his elect is, man. The whole world knows who his elect is, man. And others don't. And then the wicked ain't even remembered. They won't be considered. I don't care if that black chick there you saw at the food pantry and those little Christians there seemed all cool and nice and polite and even wanted to pray for you and gave you food. If they're not the elected, at the end of the day, if this truth ain't really their truth, the truth of Yahweh, it won't succeed. And we know theirs won't succeed. We have the truth. So that's really all that matters to us and really all that we care for. I don't care if your boss, your manager is a momo, he's a faggot. At the end of the day, we will still speak against faggots. They can remove us from the job, find what we're speaking, and remove us from the job. We have faith the Lord will get us through. We still have faith the Lord will get us through. It doesn't matter. Because in this world, they don't know a distinction. They don't know how to distinct who is right and who is wrong, who has the truth, who doesn't have the truth, who doesn't have the false teachings, the false doctrine, who does have the true doctrine. Well, the Lord's going to make it clear because it's here to say, all right, gross darkness shall cover these people. These people are in gross darkness. They won't, if they're a faggot, they won't see that that's wrong and that what we're saying is actually righteous. Just had to make that point there. It was on my spirit to say that, but sticking to the topic again, yeah, the Lord says right here, He protects the lives of His faithful people, but the wicked disappear in darkness. And right now, you really can't see it. You really won't be able to tell that there's a distinction, because just earlier today, as I was riding my bike to get to this interview, I saw I think she was a light-skinned Judite, Southern Kingdom, a Southerner, not a Northerner, but she was a Southerner, and she looked like she was proud and happy and smiling, and she had her man there, wife and her, wifey and husband be there, and she looked proud and happy. But I'm seeking the Lord. I'm calling upon the Lord. I'm having to ride my fucking bike here and there. I ain't, a smile ain't really a smile in my face. I mean, I'm not all the way angry and walking all anger, like trying to be an asshole to everyone, so they can be miserable with me. But it dawned on me, and that those thoughts dawn on me every now and then when I see that. And I get in the spirit of the other day too. I was in the spirit of Ezra, like, well Lord, these motherfuckers, man, they don't seek you, they don't praise you, they don't praise thy name, but they're lifted up. They may have it, they may be financially set, they may be as popularity wise set, family wise set. They got a family, they got the money, they got the other things in their life man desires set. But we that righteous, we don't really have all we wish to have. I mean, the water, Yahweh, you give us what we want, you give us what we need. And sometimes every now and then, only Yahweh gives us what we want. But there is more, right? There is more than what we need right now. We would want one day to have even more than what we may just need right now. And there will come a day when the Lord gives us our heart's desire, as the writers always frequently speak on. And that distinction will be made of who is the perfect, who's the standard. There's always a nation that represents the standard of what a kingdom and what a power is. And at one point that was Esau. Now Esau has lost that. And people are just confused. But this is why this is coming. This is why this famine is coming. This is part of the doctrine of what's coming. This is part of the doctrine of what's coming, what the Lord is going to bring. This is the prophecy right here. Because in this time, this is really going to show who, brothers have had dreams of the talking about the elect that have had dreams of the Lord coming through for them, feeding them in the time to come. I remember a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, the brother from Kansas, Mahalia, the elder there, my elder there, he went into how he was walking one day and he happened to, I think he said he saw these deer. Just deer there, just showing you how the Lord's going to feed us in that time and that day. And I actually had my own testimony too. Around the same time, I was walking down near where me and the brother live here in the street neighborhood. We were walking down the street, and I was walking down the street. I mean, at that time I was alone. I was just going out for a walk alone, and I saw this. This is back when it was still a bit snowing out, cold out. I think I saw this sign on this little bookshelf they had. Because here in where I live, they have bookshelves in front of these houses where you can get books. It's like a street library or something. I don't know what the fuck they call it again, but and there they had books, and I saw a sign. It had some words on the side of it. It said, "We are glad you are here." It said something like that. "We are glad you are here." And then on the inside of it, I saw the book. It was the book from the movie The Road. So through the Spirit, I saw it was a sign from the Lord that He's saying, and then in I saw I think some ramen noodles and maybe a canned food or something. So I took that. I perceived through the Spirit that was a sign from the Lord that said, He's going to confirm that He's going to look out for His elect in that, His hopeful elect in that time. Lord willing, I'm part of that number. And then another time after that, I think like a month ago, I was riding my bike, and for the first time in a long time, just to get exercise on it. As an elder Barbie doing the bike ride, you can go check his channel if you don't know the channel. It's Daily Edification #4. Check him out. Lord willing, he comes, or when he makes the video go where he's on his bike, he's doing the walk and talk. Those are good. I like watching those. And so anyway, man, yeah, man, and that the other day I was on my bike and I ran across this. He had some fruits and vegetables just outside, and I took a couple of those. He had some fruits and vegetables and some bread. Oh yeah, this was just before the Passover, yeah. And I took that, and I also took that as a sign of the Lord right there feeding me right there, because I was actually wanting to get some fruits and vegetables. I try to eat as healthy as possible. Right now, I'm trying to get back on that. And then the other day, and then this was just last week, I also was walking, and I just happened to walk in this direction. And I guess the Spirit told me where to go. And I saw a box of canned goods there, and you had some nuts in there too, some pecans and I love nuts. Lord knows I love nuts, peanuts, whether it be peanuts, pecans, cashews, pistachios, peanuts, man. You know, peanuts, nuts, proteins, and yeah, I took a couple of those and come on, man. So that right there, when that famine comes, is gonna be definitely a sign of they're gonna know who the elect is when the elect is taken care of so well. But you're gonna have some of the wicked that's gonna be in that position. In the lot, if their lot is to starve, their lot is gonna be to starve. If their lot is to, as this Jeremiah says in the book of Jeremiah, those destined for the sword to the sword, those to starvation to starvation, those for bondage to into bondage. This is Revelation 6 and 5. And he had opened the third seal. I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And then just a week before the Passover as well, I saw we was in this car. Me and these two other guys were in this for this job training. We were in this. They were in this. We were in this band, and they don't have the truth, but I saw the truth. I saw this sticker, and this blend was black, and then on the back of it, I believe it had a sticker of just a plain sticker of some black horse. So I perceived that through the spirit of that was the Lord telling me right there, the famine's coming, a sign of the famine's coming. So hey, man. And there's no coincidence. And then the brother Maha Ali also came out with another testimony just around that time too as well. I think this was just before the Passover, just after the Passover. He saw a tote. This tote just randomly appeared in the basement where he was renting for some space. He just saw a tote there with food on it. Yeah, and I just believe me and the brother is definitely connected in some way, shape, or form in the spirit. But moving on in 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou heard not the oil and the wine." See thou heard not the oil and the wine, man. When you go into oil can last for years. When you go into wine can last for years. The oil and the wine can represent this truth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the oil you can store that for years. I'll look it up here. I'm gonna ask Google. So they're saying olive oil can expire. But I'm guessing maybe it doesn't. The point is really olive oil and wine that can last you for years though. So just going into how durable it is. But yeah, the Lord's definitely gonna shut down the literal wine, literal olive oil. And that time we're gonna come. Scriptures talk about how wine can be good. Wine is good if drunk moderately. Drink wine for thy infirmities. And it also talks about these 10 things are every man needs. One of them is olive oil, another one of them is wine. Yeah, so the Lord's definitely going to bring this famine into fruition. remember this other woman that up the road. She had this dream. She shared her dream testimony on her dream that she saw. And I remember I had dreams of a bag of chips costing $50. I've been having many people having dreams, man, of these things. Play more of this here.
Really, really sad. So, you know, guys, if you see something like that, and if they're obvious drug addict, that's different.
Someone order a college degree program?
There's those almost 8,000 comments at the time of making this video. Mostly were positive, mostly were constructive, but there was a lot, probably 25% of those comments said pretty much the same things. 3 different things, but one main thing. And that main thing is, and we'll cover all 3 in the video, but the main thing that those comments that were negative said is, you voted for this. Keep voting for Republicans and this is what you get. Appalachia voted for this. And I'm reading those one after another, probably 500 or 600 of those saying the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I need to talk about this. If you watched my other channel, Gumby Creekmore channel, you will, I think I'm more political on that channel, and you will know that I've never been a big supporter of any politician at all. Never, well, not any supporter of all the politician and political party. And the presentation pretty much shows you how everything is ran. You had the same person, you had a group or whatever, these mega rich corporations, donors at the top, rate hikes dropping to around 3% by mid.
$5 groceries in California versus
$5 for groceries in Africa.
Let's see who can get more groceries.
This time for groceries, I decided to go to Whole Foods, but unfortunately, $5 at Whole Foods simply does not get you shit. I mean, cheese cubes for $21? What the fuck are we doing here? What is this? Why? I shopped strategically, and for $5, I got not 1 bottle of water, but 2 glass bottles of water, you know, the nice kind.
Well, you can never be too hydrated. You know, at least it's good water.
This is my grocery store. Stopped by the store and grabbed a handful of potatoes, got some bananas, and grabbed some bread. Each piece was 1 cent. And then we got 5 eggs. So we got a bunch of olives for only 11 cents. And we got a sandwich, only $5. We got 5 eggs, 4 bananas, olives, 3 pieces of bread, fat kebab sandwich, and some potatoes.
All right, based off of these 3, who do you think took the win here? If you want to be featured in our next video, then check the comments down below.
We got 5 eggs, 4 bananas.
All right, so you saw it for $5. He was only able to get 2 bottles of water.
Olives, 3 pieces of bread, fat kebab sandwich, and some.
And he got that good water, the Saratoga water, which I heard that water really ain't even the most pure water. I heard that water still has certain plastics and metals on the thing. I think they said the green one, the mountain one that said mountain. Some green one that's the glass. This is what mountain on it. They say, I think they say it was rated the most more clean. But sticking to the point on. This is what he got for $5 in Africa. Got 4 big ass potatoes there, 3 big ass pieces of bread there, a bundle of bananas there, pretty big ones too, and some olives, a plate of olives, and 4 eggs of the organic ones too, and then a big ass sandwich there, sandwich there, whatever kind of sandwich he said that was.
Potatoes.
All right, based off of these 3, who do you think?
We got a sandwich, only $5. We got 5 eggs, 4 bananas, olives, 3 pieces of bread, fat kebab sandwich, and some potatoes.
All right, based off of these 3, who do you think took the?
Yeah, so that one from Africa was definitely got the win there, and that's just showing you how this place is falling, man. America has lost its former glory. I mean, for $5, you could probably go to all the won't even be able to get half of what he just bought here from Africa here. And then you still got food pantries you can go to. But then those ain't what they give you there. Most of what they give you there too is kind of like defiled. It's not
$20
really,
barbecue in California.
it's not really all health stuff. I mean, they got the vegetable options, and they I'm pretty sure they have vegetable options, the fruit options, but most of the fruits, vegetables you get here from America, unless you actually have a farm yourself or go through a directly from the farmer too. You can also do that if you're into your health stuff. You can go directly to your farmer's market, connect with a farmer there, and see where he can hook you up to get it more naturally there too as well. Have it more smooth there, but yeah, here you have a $20 barbecue in California versus in Turkey here.
California versus
$20 barbecue in Turkey.
let's see who can get the better barbecue.
Not a lot of options for barbecue under $20 here, but I did find this plate with brisket, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, and cornbread for just under 20 bucks.
Looks like something you get from a cafe. $20 barbecue in California versus
$20 barbecue.
from a cafeteria. It does look good though, I'm not denying that. The portions, they're not there, man. Pretty good indeed. It would just be a lot better if I got, more. Cornbread, I really love cornbread. I really don't love this cornbread. Mashed potatoes, that's mashed something, but potatoes, I don't know. The macaroni, really can't mess.
Exactly what he's saying there is exactly. It's all. It's hard to find some fresh of whatever here in America. It's just hard and difficult to find it fresh here in America. So America's really lost its glory. At this point, you're better off moving to Afghanistan. Getting an Afghan wife. Or even moving into Iraq. Over there, everything's cheaper, man. Over there, everything is way cheaper. Just go and watch. If you don't believe me, go and watch these. Go on YouTube and search up these people that visit those places. Visiting Afghan. Just type in visiting Afghan. And looking at what they buy and how much they buy, the clothes they buy and how much they buy, how much it costs. And really, it's way cheaper, bro. Way cheaper. So really, America's just became the newer third world country. It's just the more famous. It's just the more fancy third world country than your third world countries. Over there in your third world country, you're actually able to have it out. America had it in the 90s. You can have it over there. Like America had it in the 90s, man.
Macaroni. Unless you're this place, and I guess it's really easy to mess up. The only thing I taste is oregano. They should rename this mac and oregano.
Turkey's got these cafeteria-style restaurants where you walk in, you grab a tray, and pretty much point at whatever you like, and they put it on the tray. Main dish was barbecue. By the
Now this is what he got in Turkey for $20. A barbecue dish.
end of this cafeteria line, I racked up a total of $20. I dug in, and everything was absolutely bang. That was incredible.
Based off it.
That's what's up, man. I also got this other clip.
What are you selling? French fries? French fries? How much for uno?
40 y 50.
I'll take one.
He's 40.
Look at how much French fries he got for just $2. Yeah, you better off also going back, retiring with 100,000. You can go to Mexico with just 100,000 in your bank. Moving to Mexico and you'll be set the rest of your life, man. Going over there, you can buy a whole. You can. Oh yeah, so I remember the video I saw. Where he got about this whole expensive hotel for a night, and a dinner. It came with the dinner for the night, and it only cost him, I think, $20 or $12, something like that. So yeah, man, if you got that money, man, you got your retirement money already. You got the amount of money on you already. You can go over there, live comfortable.
40. 40? Sí.
It is 40. Okay.
Sí. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Money?
¿Cómo te llamas? Yeah.
Thomas.
Nice to meet you. Are you?
Mine is?
Mine is. Sí, sí, sí. Gracias.
Like this guy right here, his name is Sean Travels. He travels around. Yeah, if you don't believe me, check this guy's channel out, man. He's showing you basically showing you how cheaper it is to live in other parts of the earth, the world. Here you got that money for us for.
A little bit. Yeah.
You can't even get that at McDonald's anymore. If you go to McDonald's, you won't find $2 fries, man. You won't find that shit over there, man.
What are you selling, flautas? Flautas. Can I take uno?
¿Una orden?
Sí.
Pollo, carne.
Pollo.
Pollo?
Sí. Gracias. 15 pesos. I think that's a pretty good deal. If you guys could please weigh down the comments. Alright, here we have some famous flautas on the streets of Mexico City. We got 3 of them for 35 Mexican pesos. I think that's a pretty good deal. If you guys could please weigh down the comments. I think that's like $1.50.
That's $1.50 for that plate there he just showed you.
What are you selling, flautas? Of course, some.
Yeah, you can't get that here in America no more. So that just gives you an idea of how low this place is going, man. You Americans are surely stupid. You don't have it. Oh, you still have it. The early 2008 glory days, those early 2007 glory days. Anyways, this is Haggai 1 and 6. You have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. He clothed you, but there is none of warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. And that's where America is in right now. If you're living in America as a wage slave, relying on paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Your money ain't working for you. You're working for your money. This is what the case is, man. And that's most of you jakes right now. Unless you're some celebrity, multi-million dollar celebrity making your money, and then they're still gonna be getting fucked. They're gonna get judged. These women that got these nice jobs or a nice little bank account, savings account, and they bank set up, they're still gonna get judged. Their man can end up getting taken out by Yahweh Smash, and then just stranded, just confused and sad and crying up in their alone up in their hotels up there on that day, while the news is playing on how everything is shut off. Because with this whole Strait of Hormuz thing too, the oil shipments are behind. They're gonna keep getting behind, and yeah, man. Yeah, man, Russia's definitely gonna get involved. On top of that, they've already been involved in Shit is just gonna get more crazy out here, man. Hectic out here, man. Keep your eye out on. Keep that date in mind. On the eye out on December. How the Lord's gonna end this year. I'm keeping my eye out on December. How the Lord's gonna end this year off. Because the Edomite in this one clip he brother shared, he was Edomite insider was talking about how by the end of December, and his word might just be a bluff, but I'm keeping my hopes up on that. And basically, he said by December, people are gonna be starving. He said. That's what that red ass Edomite was saying, man. And so he knows some stuff. Haggai 1:9. Ye looked for much, and lo, it came to little. And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it. Why, says the Yahweh of hosts, because of my house that is waste, and ye run every man unto his own house. Yeah, that's why the scriptures told Jeremiah, the Lord told him not to seek. Thou seekest good things for yourself, here seek them not. For I'm going to destroy everything here. You seeking a wife here, seek her not. Because every woman here is going to get destroyed. They're off and wicked and proud and polluted. They're going to get destroyed, man. They're going to get destroyed, slain, with them circumcised, never to be found again. Esau were destroyed, slain, with them circumcised, never to rise up again. Verse 10, therefore the heavens over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from her fruit. From her fruit. 11, and I called for a drought upon the land, and upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the hands. The Lord's going to shut off the labor. He's going to shut off all your jobs. You have a job right now, the Lord's going to shut that off too. You're going to end up in the position too of having to downsize and rationing your food, like the Lord commanded Ezekiel to. He was eating his food and with anxiety. Anxiety, man. To represent in set times, he was eating his food in set times in certain portions, certain amounts. Now, when you go into what Ezekiel was eating, he was eating just the bread and water. He was rationing out his water too. And I'm gonna play this video from Redacted as well, because it just came to my mind of how he was. This guy here, I don't know his name, but he was talking about him. Some dude from Redacted. He was titled. The video was entitled. They're starting in the rationing food, basically. I'll play some of this.
Well, how are things sitting right now with the global economy? We keep hearing the horror stories about fertilizer.
The title is Food Rationing and Lockdowns Are Here. Professor Jeong on the depression that's coming. Redacted news. It's April 23rd. We're going to check these guys.
Disruption, famine, food shortages, everything else that could become as a result of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and this global war. Christine Lagarde, head of the ECB, she's not given to hyperbole. I mean, she's of course, in control of the largest banks and the, European banking structure. Remember, she's famous for telling us that, she wanted us to move away from cash. Of course, in my mind, this is all about control. But here is Christine Lagarde talking specifically about food rationing and what is coming. Listen.
A third of the fertilizers is shipped.
Talking specifically about food rationing and what is coming. Listen.
A third of the fertilizers is shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that is also at risk. And it matters particularly in the southern hemisphere, where the Strait of Hormuz. Third, a third of the fertilizers is shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that is also at risk. And it matters particularly in the southern hemisphere, where the planting and therefore the fertilizers is badly needed now. I'm not saying that just out of interest for agriculture. Don't forget, I was Minister of Agriculture in France for a month and a half. But because it matters to me as a central banker now. Because if the price of food increases significantly, it is not going to just be the price of food, it is going to be inflation expectations. Because we know that people are particularly attentive to two things: the price of food for a month and a half. Increases significantly, it is not going to just be the price of food, it is going to be inflation expectations. Because we know that people are particularly attentive to two things: the price of food, processed and unprocessed, and the price of gas at the petrol station. So here are three indirect consequences of what's happening in the energy world. So if the disruption persists long enough, the adjustment shifts from prices, which we are putting up with now, to possibly rationing, with very different economic consequences. Higher prices are primarily inflationary. Shortages hit output directly and are worse for growth. Overall, there have been so far limited signs of supply chain disruption, both globally and in the euro area. But local tensions are visible. Jet fuel prices have roughly doubled since the outbreak of the conflict, and rationing has been imposed at some individual airports in Europe since early April. And I'm not talking about what's happening in the rest of the world. I'm just back from the IMF and the...
Yeah, she said some certain airports are already rationing. I don't know. And this reminds me of Matthew 24. The Lord said there will be famine. So what the Lord's saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, we ain't just saying, like redacted there. They're just saying a famine's coming, but they're not even giving that out the scriptures of how the Lord's saying this is going to come. And then they're still doing it while they're relying on America now. If you rely on America already, America's already said to be judged. Their crimes have not been recompensed. Them claiming the proclamation, declaration, them claiming they made treaties with Gad and Gad's all right with their land being taken. That's all heresy. Those crimes haven't been recompensed yet. Nobody should be holding an American flag. This is Matthew 24 and verse. That's what we're saying. This is Matthew 24 and let's see. 7. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom up against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in diverse places. Then you go into 2 Ezra 6 and 22 or 21. We always get this. 2 Ezra 6 and 22, it says, and suddenly there shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And then I got Revelation 6 earlier, starting at 6 to 7, about the black horse. And then there's accounts of famines that happen in the book of 1 Samuel. There's in the book of 1 Kings. In Genesis, you had Joseph in the famine in Egypt. In Abraham's time, you had a famine in Egypt as well. And then the scriptures say, what that which has been done is that which shall be done as well. That which has been, or that has happened, will happen again. So a famine is going to happen again. When the kingdom comes, there won't have to be famines. And in this case, it's going to also a man-made famine. that Esau wants to bring, because this is going to lead closer to that one world government, one world currency, privatization, no privacy, that he wants to set up according to his agenda. That will lead them closer to having the Gorgia Guidestones, reducing the population to 500 million. When you go back to the Gorgia Guidestones, those got blown up back in, was that early 2023, mid 2023? He blew those up. Oh, you can still find photos of it, I think, and yeah. He wants that's the things Esau wants to bring right here. Name a couple of these: one road government, one road classless currency, one road central bank, one road military, end of national sovereignty, end of privately owned property, end of the family unit, mandatory vaccines, universal basic income, microchip to tracking. It cuts off there. Road social credit system, thousands of 5G towers, and the private transportation and the private farms. Yeah, they want to control the food. A part of this new order is controlling the food, so they want to bring a famine. They want you to be more locked into their control, into what that market of the beast is going to be brought out. And the private farms, businesses owned by government, travel restrictions, restricted land use. 5-minute cities, it makes me think of those 5-minute cities. When you go look up the line, there's something called the line over there in Saudi Arabia. I think it's from Neom. That's one of those 5-minute cities Esau has already set up and is still almost completed. They said it will be completed by 2030, I think, and they're gonna have the FIFA Road hold the FIFA 2030. They said FIFA World Cup in there. And in that city, the line Neom is basically where they have everything that people would want: their groceries, their work, their school, all in one, in less than 15 minutes away from them. I might even just pull up this here.
Construction of a multi-trillion-dollar city of the future in Saudi Arabia's need.
And the fact that this is in Saudi Arabia, supposedly all these kings are all sovereign, they're all ruling in their own right. That all ended with Tsar Nicholas II, man. All these Stalin, he was a murderer and the devil and a Jesuit.
Is grinding to a halt. I spoke to more than 20 people who worked on the project, and they told me that the line, which was originally intended for 9 million residents, may never house a single one. The project is colossal. Just to give you a sense of the scale, if the line was dropped in central London, it would be taller than the Shard, and it would stretch all the way to Birmingham. Architects and engineers who worked at Neom told me that the project is technically feasible, but they gave me a list of reasons why they believe it will never be built as planned. At top of that list is the ambitious schedule. In 2022, Neom suggested that people would start moving in at the end of this year.
By 2025, we expect to have, or plan to have, 130,000 residents and 1 million tourists.
To meet the deadline, work to build the foundation started before the rest of the building had been fully designed or costed. The second reason is the sheer quantity of materials and labour that's needed. The 170 kilometres of the line is divided into 135 modules. According to one engineer I spoke to, just 20 modules would require a yearly supply of concrete, equivalent to the annual output of France. Another worker told me they would need around 60% of the world's recycled steel, and somewhere between 300,000 and 500,000 workers to finish the line entirely.
And then where everybody has a universal basic income, so everyone's going to have the same amount of pay, no homelessness. And this is what's going to make the people wander after the beast and want to go and run toward it. Oh, universal basic income, that sounds perfect. No homelessness. Yeah, let's run to that.
There's the cost, although it's been difficult to pin down exact numbers, largely because the estimates rely on...
Because as they say, the beast, as is certain Christians that has him more on point, as I said before, but what he said was on point. The beast ain't gonna come and say, "Oh yeah, I'm the beast. He's gonna take the mark." He's gonna come with deceitfulness and blindfulness, something that's gonna sound so intriguing that people are gonna flock to it, run to it. But the sheep hear my voice, and the sheep are gonna know where to go, all at the same time.
Have you seen the line in Saudi Arabia? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
We think we know what money is. This is where the money is.
So what this is some mega city that's many miles long that they're building that's all completely integrated.
Nowhere.
One building. No roads, cars, or emissions. It will run on 100% renewable energy and 95% of the land.
Yeah, because that whole climate change thing, which is really propagating behind all that. The elites, the wicked elites, it's also gonna lead to people also believing in this beast. He's the one causing the climate change, right? As they say, the Hegelian dialect, pressure from above, pressure from below. To those who are new, that's why you gotta start going into those them early 2006, early 2008 documentaries, man. Where you got Alex Jones exposing them elites, man. Study those. Start with those and study that, man. Get some books. Behold a Pale Horse. That's another good book. You go to your nearest mall where they sell books and go into they got sections where you can see conspiracy theories. I remember I went in a couple of years back. I went inside the Scholar Books store and they had a good book on conspiracy theories, showing every conspiracy theory. Now in the book they're calling it conspiracy theories, but they were really going on in depth into and facts and behind each one, and that was yeah. Yeah, man.
Be preserved for nature. That might be amazing to visit.
There's a whole city, couple of thousand workers living out there in these little air-conditioned cubicles.
That's insane. That's so Star Wars.
They're building that.
Bro, this literally is science fiction.
Have you seen the line inside?
Yeah, bro, first gotta start reading out more scriptures, man. Speaking more on these wicked elites. The wicked elites, man. I'm planning on making a video on that maybe later this week, Lord willing. I'll see.
For too long, humanity has existed within dysfunctional and polluted cities that ignore nature. Now, a revolution in civilization is taking place. Imagine a traditional city and consolidating its footprint, designing to protect and enhance nature. The line will be home to 9 million residents and will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. And we are designing it to provide a healthier, more sustainable quality of life. The line's communities are organized in 3 dimensions. Residents have access to all their daily needs within 5-minute walk neighborhoods. And the line's infrastructure.
Yeah, they want to be like the Most High. As scriptures say, they want to be like the Lord, the Most High. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 verse he said here, I'm gonna be like the Most High. It says here in 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. Because he saw destroying everything, right? He's the same one who built this kingdom, but now he's destroying it. It doesn't make sense. And that's why we always say he's not meant to be. He's a fool in the God complex. that open not the house of the prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. I really want, it's in 13, this is the one I really wanted. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend unto the heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, the stars that represent the Israelites. I will also sit upon the mounts of the congregation, meaning the whole world, in the sides of the north, meaning the whole world being in the Lord's high position. So just go on to get that real quick, just briefly on that there. That's this famine that's coming is gonna go just to link it to these elites and how they want it. Bring it. You add the pieces together. Microchip the tracking. What's that? That's control. That sounds like control. Why do you need to track everybody? That's not normal. That's not something that our normal person just comes up with. And the private transportation and the owning private property. And of farmers. It said there, right? Let's see, where was that? And the private farms, yeah. And that's what also one thing they've been doing on it since early 2022, even earlier than that, I bet. But I remember back in 2022, it's when I really caught that my eye, how they was all these. I was seeing a bunch of. Now you don't even see it anymore. That's funny, but you were seeing a lot of farms burning and manufacturing facilities that make these foods, package these foods burning, all of a sudden getting destroyed. Yeah, that's no coincidence. When you go into the chemtrails, if you want to go deeper into that, there's chemtrails also that they, and fertilizer that they make these farmers have to use. Those are really set up, those poisons were set up in a way to destroy the land. And now they make that piece of land, a piece of that soil dead, lifeless. So you when you grow that crop, you're essentially having to grow a real genetically modified type of crop, because now that soil has been so polluted, so poisoned, that you gotta use poison just to make it grow. Yeah, and this devil has to be destroyed for that, man, because we just want to eat an apple. We just want to eat one apple, one orange that's all fresh and no pesticides in it. In some cases, you don't even got a choice. I mean, you gotta get some nutrients. Eating that is better than just not getting any nutrients in you. So you'll still get some nutrients off that apple or orange. But you eat it and you can't even pronounce your sentences straight and correctly. You're stuttering in one sentence. You're stuttering just to say this one word. I'm having a brain fart just to say this one word that I want to say. My testosterone, my test is getting low. Eating that defiled fruit, defiled vegetables, and that's why also cilantro is good for taking that heavy metals out of you. They say cilantro is good, and also tamarindo. You can get that in any Mexican spot, Mexican supermarket. La Victoria, El Rodriguez supermarket near you. Tamarindo, that really is, it's very sweet. It tastes just like candy, even better than candy. You can buy that, and it's good for taking a lot of heavy metals from your brain.
I completely agree about what's happening in the world. I'm just back from the IMF and the World Bank. Individual airports in Europe since early April. And I'm not talking about what's happening in the rest of the world. I'm just back from the IMF and the World Bank spring meetings, like many of you, and you might have bumped into colleagues from Asia, in particular some of the low-income countries or emerging market economies that are taking a much more severe hit than us and are moving into rationing.
Yeah, so Asia moving into food rationing and fuel rationing. Lufthansa yesterday announcing the cancellation of hundreds of flights because they don't have the fuel for it. And then the fertilizer moving through the Strait of Hormuz. Like, are people taking this seriously? And you hear just in her voice, I mean, as a central banker, she doesn't want to scare people, but she's kind of, you can hear it there, that they're all the signals. Yeah. She's basically pointing out all of the signals. We're back with Professor Jiang to talk about the global impact of this war in Iran. Professor, what do you make of Christine Lagarde's message there, and do you see a much bigger problem emerging?
Yeah, I think she is forewarning a major catastrophe approaching the global economy that's going to come very soon. So she points out 1/3 of the world's fertilizer passes through the Strait of Hormuz. And most people don't appreciate this, but fertilizer is what feeds the world. So without fertilizer, the globe, the earth, could sustain one or 2 billion people, 2 billion people if you're optimistic. So basically, we're able to have 8 billion people on this planet because of fertilizer. Now, if you take out fertilizer out of the equation, this means that a lot of people are going to starve. There's no way around it. So this brings up a much bigger point, which is people don't appreciate the fragility of the global economy. We use something called a just-in-time supply chain system. So there's very little inventory, there's very little resilience. The system doesn't know how to cope with setbacks, with delays. It's designed to be as quick and as efficient as possible in order to maximize benefit for the consumer. So this system was not designed to be resilient, it was designed to be efficient. And this is going to cause a lot of problems for the world. Another point that I will make is that these policymakers know that this catastrophe is coming. And the thing about policymakers is that they don't let a crisis ever go to waste. And policymakers are first and foremost concerned about how to create more control over people, how to create an AI surveillance state. And if you talk about rationing, well, what comes naturally with rationing is basically digital currency and digital ID, right? Because it's think of communism, think of Marxism, think of a command economy where, because there's so little food, because there's food scarcity, there's fuel scarcity, well, we have to ration this, so we have to basically give you coupons. And we do that digitally through digital currency. And so think of more control, think of more financial repression, think of possibly economic collapse.
So, you know, I'm trying to extrapolate what this will be the lived experience for us, because the Wall Street Journal recently reported that the Pentagon was approaching American companies like Ford and General Motors to shift factory capacity towards weapon making. You know, they can ask them nicely, but they also can use the Defense Production Act to require companies to prioritize and accept government contracts. And Secretary of War Pete Hegseth had said, this is to put us on a wartime footing. So that doesn't mean live your lives, we're going to go to war, you know, it's all good. It's you will live in a wartime footing. And so what was the lived experience during World War II for Americans is Rosie the Riveter, the woman goes to work, and food shortages and food rations, and it was not optional. So there is precedence for this. It's not hysterical to think that we are being pushed towards this, right?
Yeah, no, I think history might repeat itself. So what led to World War II was, first of all, 1929 stock market crash, where, you know, billions of savings were wiped out. We might see a similar situation where the stock market collapses. And possibly there is a cyber attack, a cyber false flag attack on the nation's financial data centers. So all that money you have in the bank might be wiped out, and you can blame the Iranians for that, even though it may not be the Iranians. this will lead to a depression in America, where people become desperate for jobs, where people become desperate for food. The government can now step in and create a command economy, just like what they did in the 1930s, right? Roosevelt's New Deal. And then the economy switches to a wartime economy where you are making drones, weapons, and munitions for all these wars overseas that America has to fight in order to ensure it has control over the world's oceans and resources.
I mean, everything you're talking about is already coming to fruition, right? I mean, a $1.5 trillion wartime budget at the Pentagon under President Trump. The move towards digital currency, the House resolution that's now coming forward, we've covered it here on the show, about this new digital ID that would be required to sign into the internet, basically, as an age verification. They tell us it's about safety, but it's all about control. This is the control grid that's coming right before our eyes, and we're just like walking blindly right into it right now in the United States.
Right. So there are two major pieces to this AI control grid, right? The first is you would need an enforcement mechanism, and this would be ICE. Do you really need soldiers with machine guns in the streets to deport illegal immigrants? Obama was able to do so without soldiers. He did it just through cooperation.
My 401k is from old jobs.
So that's the point there. That's the point on Jeremiah 50 and 26. Attack it from every side and break open the places where its grain is stored. Pile up the loots like piles of grain. Destroy the country, leave nothing at all. This was a prophecy against Babylon, America, or either Israel or Judah. And this time around, the Lord's going to destroy Babylon and along with Israel and Judah. Back in that time, first the Lord destroyed Judah, then years later, he destroyed the kingdom of Babylon, ancient Babylon. This is Jeremiah 48, and ultimately Jeremiah 50 is going into modern day Babylon, today America. I'll get this last verse, Jeremiah 48, in the Easy English Bible. 33, happiness and joy have been taken away from the fertile land of Moab. I have made the wine stop flowing. From the wine press, the Lord's going to stop the mirror. Lord's going to make the mirror and wine cease from this place. There is no one to make the wine and shout for joy. 34, the people of Heshbon and Elealeh cry out, and their cry can be heard as far as Jahaz. It can be heard by the people in Zoar, and it is heard from as far as Haranaim. In Eglath, Shalisha, and even Nimrim, brook has dried up. Once again, the famine and drought that's coming. I saw this article as well that brought out, and I wish I would have screenshotted it, but I know I could have sworn there was an article that a brother posted going into 66% of America right now is in drought-like conditions. So with that, that's the point. Shalom. Hopefully this was edifying and about a bar. Until next time, Lord willing.